Hello, Year of Yes Squad. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for responding to my email. For some reason, just after Anzac Day was a really challenging night for people to show up and be present for our Year of Yes circle. So, one of the things I'd like to actually tell you is that this circle is one of my favorite moments of each and every month because this is our moment to connect as a group, to be part of our community collectively and to have some really great conversations. It's not just so much about what I can deliver and share with you, but all of us joining and sharing together. So I really, really appreciate the feedback. For some of you, Wednesday night's not a good night, and I know that we can't always get it right for everybody. And for so many others, there was so much going on Wednesday night last week that just made it challenging for all of you to attend. But I do really appreciate all of the emails. I've actually been overwhelmed, and what it actually shows me is that you are all committed to your year of yes. And what does that mean to you about living your life on purpose and really getting the most out of 2023? And that's what I want to see for all of you by the time we all get to the end of 2023, that we've built, grown, and just explored all of these themes right throughout the year and used the tools that come with this opportunity to really make 2023 amazing. So we've got a long way to go. It's only April. And just to reflect a little bit on what we've already achieved together this year. So we started with self-affirmation, and I really do want you to keep coming back every single month to all of the themes, the work that you've done. And if you haven't, there's still time to go back and put in that effort so that each and every month, these are the building blocks, the foundations of growth. Self-affirmation, was there one specific affirmation that you chose that was your go-to that helped you get through January? And what does that look like for you now? Maybe that's changed. Maybe you need to really refresh and reinvent what that looks like for yourself. So just take a moment, reflect, and go back. Self-love, one of my favorite subjects, and that was a fantastic session that we had with, I think it was Prue who joined me on that particular yes circle. Such an important conversation to have, because without that, it's really hard to build all of your other valuable relationships. So your own self-worth and self-love and taking time out for yourself. And then last month, self-empowerment. And I think that's such a big word, empowerment. How do we feel empowered individually to make positive change in our lives? So it was a really great conversation that we had with Tanya joining me last month. So this month, April, and we're nearly at the end of April, self-development. And I really think this is a great conversation to have because it's such a tangible, more malleable kind of conversation to have in terms of looking at what does this mean and how do we actually attain personal growth and personal development continuously. And I do see this as being one of the most significant, pieces of the bigger puzzle as being on that continuum of growth. There's a really famous Chinese proverb that I reminded myself of. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. And, I think that's super, super important to think about this when you're looking at self-development and what that looks like. And then this also, I think, is really, really important when you're thinking of self-development. Growth begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So what are you prepared to actually change and put yourself out there for when it comes to your own personal self-development to create something that, you might never even know that you have the capacity for growth in that specific space. And I think, that when we're looking at personal development, there are a number of different categories that we can explore in life, whether it's in your business, in your workplace environment, for health, for relationships. It applies to so many different pillars of where you can actually apply principles of self-development and really setting those goals and taking strong positive action that will see you achieve whatever that looks like for you. So I'd like you to go back to your journals, really use the journal to its full capacity because that's what it's there for, and go back and have a look at your achievements for last month. Ask yourself, how do you feel? And what's your yes declaration for this month? And I hope that each and every one of you have made a declaration around what you're looking to achieve when it comes to self-development. I'd love to hear from you and to have that conversation, even if you jump online. You're the Yes Squad. Jump on board into the group and declare for yourself now, because the more you declare it, the more likely you are to take action. What was your self-development goal for April? And let's see if we can start some conversations within the group around how you've actually gone about achieving that. What were the barriers? What were the positives, the negatives? The whole big picture around how does that whole big subject of self-development look like for you? And I'd also like you to look at the growth tracker in the journal, because that's a really great mechanism for self-evaluation. And if you keep using the tools to evaluate where you're at, you'll probably find that you're achieving so much more. And I love personally using the journal and setting those small goals. I feel like small steps are far more achievable, attainable, and more realistic when it comes to anything, when it comes to, setting a goal. A 30-day goal is far easier to achieve, and then to see, okay, I've come this far, what can I do to push those boundaries next? So I might have said to you a while ago, one of my own personal goals was I'd set myself a challenge to stand up paddleboard in an event that's a 10-kilometre event. And this morning, before coming in here, I managed to get to 8.3 kilometres. So I'm pretty excited about that and feeling a lot more confident and more empowered that I'm on that self-development journey and I can actually do a 10K stand-up paddleboard event, which is something I've never done before. So that's part of my little self-development journey and some of the things that I've been doing. Definitely from a physical pursuit of trying new things. That's one of the areas this year for me, in my year of yes, that I've put myself out there for. So in the last month, some of the things that I've tried include goat yoga. Thank you, Tanya. That was a lot of fun. And connecting with animals. And we know that animal therapy and engaging with our animals it can be so powerful. So that was a really interesting experience to see how an organization combines yoga meditation with goats. It was a lot of fun and very unusual and different, and what a great experience. But it just shows you can, if you've got dogs or pets at home, take your time to spend some time with your beautiful, loving, unconditional love of your animals can be so powerful. So, if you're not spending enough time with your animals, maybe think about that too. What else have I tried? I've tried e-foiling. So that might sound like a really weird thing to do. And yes, I really pushed my boundaries there because I've never surfed before. It's not something I've ever done. And the e-foil kind of machine, for want of a better word, contraption, you actually have to balance yourself and you're up high out of the water. It's pretty challenging. So I've tried that. What else have I done that's been different? Well, I've put myself out there for this SUP event. I've signed up for a couple of running events, and just really looking at giving myself the opportunity to say, yes, I can do this, and trying new things. So no matter what space you choose to focus on from a self-development point of view, or it might be relationships. In fact, you might have seen last night, I put up on my social media that I went to see Jay Shetty, who is someone who I've really admired and really love his messages, not just on his podcasts, but I'm a fan of his book, How to Think Like a Monk. And more recently, he just wrote the book, The 8 Rules of Love. So I'm a great believer in, you can always learn to improve your relationships, whether it's your relationship with yourself, with your family, your friends, your colleagues, or your significant other, no matter what that looks like. And I really love the book, The 8 Rules of Love. And I thought, I might really learn something new. So I'm going to go and hear him on his world tour speak on stage and see what I can take away from that for myself. So that was great. He spoke to an audience of around about 3,500 people. So really interesting to hear and see him live and to reflect and make sure that I was taking something personal away from that. So you do need a goal so you can track your progress. So if you haven't set the goal for the month, go back and take some moments to think about it. It doesn't matter if you haven't achieved this in April. You can add this to your whole big toolbox of things that you wish to achieve this year. Don't think for a moment that, oh my gosh, April's over and I haven't focused on self-development. Self-development is something that you can keep going with right throughout the year. as you can with all of the other themes. I don't expect you to just get to the theme, achieve something for a month, and then drop it. We want to constantly look at how to improve upon each and every month and grow with that. And I think it's also important to look at this concept of think, plan, do, review. So you've got to think about it, choose what it is that you want to do, plan how you're going to actually get there, and then self-reflect, review. And that's where you can actually use the journal effectively as well. And, there's some really powerful things around, why self-development is important and what does it give you? What does it bring to you when you apply yourself to self-development? And this is some of the things that you might find it gives you. It increases your self-awareness, your self-esteem, and it increases your skills. So you're increasing your skills and things that you're capable of doing all the time. If you have a look at the journal, one of the things that I talked about was taking on board a new language. That's something that's fabulous to do, and you can do it via some excellent apps that you can access online, but it means time, dedication, and applying yourself to that task and saying, I really want to take on board a new language. How am I going to learn over time? And, plan it, spend the time and review, and you'll be surprised what you can learn. And it actually fulfills your aspirations. So I think it's important to constantly have those aspirations in life. All right, so you can see there's another name on my screen, Tegan Tudor, who was here to join with me on the Year of Yes Circle on Wednesday night through the week. She's one of our amazing accredited practicing dietitians guiding you through your journeys. If you're on a program with us at Weight Loss Solutions Australia, you've most likely come into contact with Tegan. But she's also so many things outside of the office. She's a mum of 3 beautiful kids. So raising 3 kids, working, work-life balance, the whole big thing. She's pretty amazing. So I'd like her to come and sit with me now. And we're going to ask her a few questions about personal development and what that looks like for her at home with all her children.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming along the other night. So Tegan was the only one who did show up for me on Wednesday night, but here we are again. Yes. So self-development, why do you think this is a really important subject for you and for us to really have this conversation with our Year of Yes squad?
Well, I think the Year of Yes, it says it all, right? You've got to say yes, you've got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And it's really having that growth mindset so that you can reach your goals, you can become more successful, and I guess manifest those aspirations and dreams that you hold. So if we want to move forward, we do need to have those self-development goals.
Yeah. For you, what are some of the things as a parent that you guide or impart or direct with kids when it comes to self-development? Is it something that you consciously think about, how to assist them with their own personal growth and development, and how do you execute that as a parent?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think their self-development happens so much outside of the home, at school, extracurricular activities, sports, all of those relationships. So for a parent to be an important role model there, I think open communication is massive. And it's setting an example as well through your own self-development goals. So what my kids and I do usually is we sit around the dinner table, talk about our day. So I think it's really having those chats, helping your kids work around barriers they come across. It's positive self-talk. Many things.
Absolutely, and I think that's a really great philosophy. It's a lot to do with the monkey see, monkey do philosophy. It's pretty simple, and kids are likely to mirror your behaviour style. So if what you're doing is how you want to role model and impart for your kids, what does that look like? And also communication and doing things together as a family. And I really love that dinner time chat is something that really resonates for me, because one of the things that I've always done, even as my kids are now adults, is ensure that the dinner table is away from screens, and that it's a time for us to connect as a family. And I really do think that that's been lost in our social framework of how we behave and what we do, and within our busy, hectic schedules, family meal times have become significantly diluted. And if we can bring it back to that kind of connection within the family unit, it's going to have so much benefit for our kids.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
So for you, personal development this year, has there been something specific that have you set yourself a task, a goal, a personal development aspiration?
Yes, I have a few going. I think the most exciting one at the moment is learning a new language. So I've downloaded an app. It's called Lingo. I think it's different to the Babel, but they didn't have Japanese, so I had to find another one.
Is it Lingo or Duolingo? Which one?
I think I got the Lingo.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's another one called Duolingo as well. There's a few different ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So we're going on a Japan trip at the end of the year. So my kids and I, so I've involved the whole family in this. We're learning a bit of Japanese so that it's easier to communicate with the locals, and hopefully we find things a little bit easier to navigate when we're in Japan. That's probably one. The other one is definitely physical activity, because with a busy life and a desk job, it's a bit difficult to sometimes squeeze all of that in. So my son and I go to the gym together, once again involving the family, and I've joined a Conquer It Challenge, which is a walking challenge. So my goal is to walk from the Gold Coast all the way to the Great Barrier Reef.
Wow.
Obviously,
Virtually.
electronically. Yeah, virtually.
It'd be fun if that was actually genuine. Imagine walking all the way to the Barrier Reef. I'd like to do it. It'd be great if you could end up there.
Yeah, it'd be a little more scenic.
That's fantastic. So is that a specific program or an app that you've downloaded to achieve that?
It's a program. It's called the Conquer Challenge. So you get to do it with your family and friends, and you get little medals and rewards at the end of the day. So a bit of motivation, I guess.
I love that. What's something that you think you can share with our Year of Yes squad around to get started? If self-development is something where you feel like you're already stuck and you're in a rut and you're not sure, how do I approach this? What am I going to do? You know, if your self-esteem is not where you really want it to be, but you want to actually get involved in something that does give you self-development and gives you greater self-esteem, how do you conquer the challenge to get started?
Absolutely. So I think, once again, as you said, it's breaking that big goal into smaller goals and working your way backwards. So starting really small, even weekly goals or daily goals. I think if self-esteem is a bit of a barrier, it's involving maybe a friend or a family member to do it with you. I think, we can come across those barriers, so it's understanding what your barriers are so that you can set those goals to work around your barriers. So if time is an issue, maybe at the end of the day you're tired, you're not motivated to go out for a walk, shift that to the morning instead. So it's just working out what your barriers are and setting goals around them.
Fantastic, I love that. And if you are feeling challenged, but you'd really like to see yourself become more engaged in a self-development pathway, we're so open to having the conversation with you. That's what we're here for. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with us at any time, and we'll try and work with you to develop that action plan and a strategy around how do I actually actualize self-development for myself and how does that look. And you can start with something small too. It doesn't have to be a big picture, huge, big goal of I'm going to go and run a marathon. We don't expect you to take on board those kind of challenges. They're hard for everybody. Start with something small. It might even be something like, I need to increase more fiber in my diet. I need to have more vegetables. It can be anything, whatever it is that you need to really think about for it to become a goal of self-development. And maybe it's also something you need to think about, what am I not doing, as well as what would I like to try and do better. Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
And next month, we really want you to be here with us for the Yes Circle. I'm not going to share with you, you probably know already what next month looks like if you've downloaded the journal. But come along and make sure you encourage one another. That's what the Yes Squad is all about. May is going to be a really exciting month for us at Weight Loss Solutions Australia. One of our big events that we're hosting on the 20th of May is our Mindfulness Mastery event. Each and every year, this is a huge, big highlight for me, something that I love, because part of what we offer is delivering new tools, new opportunities, and definitely part of a self-development pathway is exposing yourself and opening yourself up to those opportunities where you might learn something that maybe you'll adopt more regularly. So this year, Mindfulness Mastery is a breath work and ice bath workshop. And we're bringing in an expert in the Wim Hof breath work and ice bath therapeutic treatment. And it's a really interesting new opportunity for you to come along and try something so out of the box new. If you've never heard of Wim Hof, you're going to learn some really exciting things about it. So please look out for it. It's a ticketed event and we do only have limited spaces. It's sponsored by Weight Loss Solutions Australia. So if you're a patient, you get a sponsored ticket. I'd love to see this sell out before we even get started with promoting it too much, just because it is so limited. So 20th of May, pop that in your calendars. And if you really want to reach out and ask us about what is Mindfulness Mastery all about and where to access the Mindfulness Mastery workshop, please ask, because we'd love to have you there. That would be fabulous. What else is happening in May? Gold Coast Marathon training continues. Every single Saturday we have our boot camps. You're invited to participate, to come along and join us, no matter whether you're doing an event at the Gold Coast Marathon or not. It's your opportunity to experience coming along, being part of a group where you're amongst like-minded people and trying a boot camp environment with some absolutely brilliant trainers. So Jacinta and Andrew are our trainers at our boot camps. It's every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, and we would really love to see more people come along and just try it out. So don't feel like you're under pressure to be part of the marathon team. We definitely want a huge, big team, but we also want people to show up and take advantage of the training that we offer. So please join. All right. I love this book. This is Lisa Message's book, and it's her daily mantras to ignite your purpose. And she's actually, this book she's got something for each and every day of the calendar. So I thought I'd just finish with, because it's the 28th of April today, whether you're watching this tonight or over the weekend, and we're getting close to the end of the month before we launch our next Year of Yes month for May, I just thought I'd read this page out to you. And I really love this. I think one of my favorite things is laughing with someone and realizing halfway through how much you enjoy them and their existence. Laughter, the best medicine. For the next 3 days, feel into and try to capture how many times you actually laugh out loud. If it's not at least 20 times, find some new friends to feed your soul. Affirmation, laughter is the best medicine. I could not agree more. There's nothing like a really good belly laugh. We're about to enter into another long weekend, so I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and we really look forward to welcoming you back into the Yes Squad for May, around the corner. Can't believe we're already up to May, but love to have your company there, and looking forward to a really dynamic Yes Squad online towards the end of May. And I will be announcing a special guest to join me for that as well. So thanks so much for coming on board with us and for actually watching our workshop on self-development. I can't wait to hear from all of you, and thank you so much, Tegan.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
See you all later.